Dillon Gabriel has broken his silence about Joe Flacco being traded, and he has some things to talk about with Shedeur. It's another day, and it's some more Cleveland Browns drama, dog. And in words of Coach Prime, we don't really care about the Cleveland Browns, but we do care about Shedeur. So we finna report on this whole situation. So we all know Joe Flacco got the boot of a lifetime, man. They got him the hell out of Dodge in Cleveland and sent him up the road to Cincinnati. Well, I guess what? I am here to tell you that Dillon Gabriel broke his silence about the matter, and he had a lot of stuff to say.
Dillon Gabriel just dropped a truth bomb so spicy, it made college football Twitter call for a wellness check. Apparently, sharing reps with Shedeur Sanders wasn't just a team bonding moment, it was a full-blown ego earthquake. Buckle up, this story's got more twists than a playbook under pressure.
Kevin told us that he's going to wait until later in the week to decide if Shedeur can be the number 2, or if maybe Bailey will be the number 2. Does that impact you and your coach?
I don't handle any of that. I'll leave that to coaches, but we got a great room, a bunch of guys that either played or have the potential to play, and I think we just come together as a team, and the importance is trying to find ways to win. But I'll leave that with coach. You know what I'm saying?
Dillon Gabriel has finally done it. The man just cracked open the college football vault and spilled the kind of locker room tea that even ESPN doesn't have the bandwidth to process. Turns out, sharing reps with Shedeur Sanders wasn't just another day at practice, it was more like surviving an episode of Quarterbacks Gone Wild.
Dillon Gabriel was just named the Brown starter, but instead, he took another shot at Shedeur. You know, Dillon, I find it funny too. Now, this is just my opinion. You can take it however you want to, take that statement, whatever, but I'm taking it just like everybody else taking it because everybody else is posting it. ESPN, Cleveland, Chops, Cleveland Browns, they self-posting them clips saying exactly what Dillon Gabriel saying.
Because when you put two guys who both think they're the future of college football in the same backfield, you don't get team chemistry, you get a turf war with cleats. Apparently, Dillon was out there trying to run plays, while Shedeur was running a photo shoot.
Shedeur is way better than Dillon Gabriel. He just is. If Shedeur had started from the start, game 1 against Cincinnati at home, they would be the talk of the NFL right now because I look at the fourth quarter yesterday, they go 0 for 4 on third down because Dillon was playing not to lose. Don't throw it to them, don't put it on the ground. And he did a great job of that. But on one of those third downs, you have to try to make a play to win the football game. And trust me, no matter what Stefanski called, Shedeur would try to win the football game because it's how he was raised. You're going to make a play because you were born to make a play.
One's focused on reading defenses, the other's checking the lighting. Gabriel probably came to practice thinking they'd split time evenly, but Shedeur's definition of sharing reps looked a lot like, you stand there and admire greatness.
Dillon Gabriel just said, hey, I had to prepare myself mentally because he's not getting the reps that he needs to be prepared to play in a football game. And he had to share those reps with Shedeur Sanders also.
And let's be real, this is the Sanders show. Everything that happens near Shedeur turns into content. The guy could throw a check down pass and somehow make it look like a Nike commercial. Meanwhile, Dillon's just trying to throw a spiral without being edited out of the highlight reel.
Do the number 1 and number 2 guys, because you guys are like out there taking most of the first team reps together, is there a synergy that happens during the week between you guys just in terms of preparation, in terms of film study? And does this sort of delay in decision, does that impact your preparations in any way whatsoever? Or do you guys all do that stuff together?
No, it's always been together. So I think just business as usual, but like I said, just solution-based and trying to find ways to win and be flexible and open to that.
Because when Deion Sanders is your coach and Shedeur is his son, there's no such thing as equal reps. That's not a competition, that's a monarchy. It's like showing up to a gunfight with a Nerf dart. And the internet loved it.
I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns situation with Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. Remember, it's been reported that Shedeur Sanders is receiving 8 to 10 reps after practice to get himself up to speed to the offense just in case he is needed in a game. Well, Dillon Gabriel is going viral talking about getting reps with a quarterback room that is crowded as like the Cleveland Browns.
Twitter lit up like it was signing day again. Half the fans were cheering Dillon for standing up for himself, the other half were screaming that he should be honored to breathe the same air as a Sanders. And somewhere in the middle, Dillon was probably thinking, I just wanted to throw a football, not audition for a reality show. You've got to admire his composure, though.
When Shedeur Sanders was put out there with the proper talent around him, he excelled. 2 touchdowns. Shined on the big stage. I know it was a preseason, but it was the most watched preseason game in over a decade. Shined. But when they put him out there with talent of guys that are not going to be on NFL rosters, that was the result. So when people say, hey, they're setting him up for failure, this is what they're talking about.
The man didn't rage, didn't explode, didn't throw shade. He just dropped subtle hints that sharing reps with Shedeur was less about teamwork and more about surviving a PR hurricane. And to be fair, Shedeur's earned the attention. The kid can play. But Dillon's point hits harder than a linebacker. It's tough to compete when the scoreboard isn't the only thing keeping score.
What do you want me to really say about Dillon Gabriel over the next 3.5 hours? Well, he was composed. Great. You know how he conducted himself? He conducted himself how a career backup should conduct himself, where you just hope that you're able to hold down the fort until the regular starter comes back. The problem is, we don't have a regular starter that comes back. Well, we do, but nobody wants to see him. So nobody wants that to happen. So here we have to hope that Dillon Gabriel, a guy who is certainly limited, a guy who's smart enough to probably be a coach in the NFL someday, has to go out there and conduct an offense, and we just little bit. And we have to hope that Quinshon Judkins is able to carry us into the end zone, and we don't have a holding call on it.
Every throw, every drill, every huddle is under a microscope. And if you're not a Sanders, that microscope suddenly feels like a magnifying glass in the sun. Rumor has it, Dillon walked away from those shared reps with a PhD in patience.
Dillon Gabriel, the bag-up quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He's bagged up Joe Flacco. No, Joe Flacco is QB1. Dillon Gabriel is QB2. And Shedeur Sanders is the emergency quarterback at QB3. I can imagine, family, how hard it is to prepare when you don't get the reps.
You don't need a coach in that situation. You need a stage manager. And it's not like Dillon didn't try to play nice. The guy's got experience, leadership, and a reputation for keeping cool under pressure. But even he couldn't resist hinting that sometimes it's not about talent, it's about who's trending.
Dillon Gabriel, you said you a competitor but not an entertainer, but you get the entertainment part as if Shedeur is just entertaining. He played better than you, bruh. Y'all learning the same playbook. Y'all with the same players, and he outperforms you. He outshines you. What are you talking about?
So yeah, Dillon exposed the truth. Not in a scandalous tell-all kind of way, but in a quiet, almost tired tone of a man who's seen the game from both sides. He wasn't mad. He was just done pretending it was normal. And now, as the clip makes its rounds online, fans are starting to realize something. Maybe Gabriel didn't leave because of the reps. Maybe he left because he wanted peace, not paparazzi.
We want to see Shedeur. Let's grade it fairly. That's all I'm saying.
I graded it fairly. Like,
you really want to, you said I want him to play bad so Shedeur can get
I do, but some teachers might want this kid to do bad, but when he turned that test in, she just got to grade that.
I believe Shedeur's better as well, but if we're going to grade, stop grading with bias.
All right,
Shedeur,
grading without bias. QBR for the game. Dillon Gabriel was a 38 on scale 0 to 100.
Maybe he's the rare college athlete who values the game over the glam. Meanwhile, Shedeur's camp will probably post another training montage tomorrow, and the world will move on. But somewhere, Dillon Gabriel will be smiling quietly, throwing perfect passes without a single camera in sight. Because sometimes the best exposure is walking away from it. So what do you think? Was Gabriel calling out something deeper in the locker room culture? Or was this just pure competitive fire boiling over? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more wild sports drama.